Welcome to Pile Driver Talk Radio. This segment is News You Should Know. These are articles that we found that people really need to begin to talk about a lot more. With our first article here this evening, Mr. Nick Orlando.
Thank you. Biden vowed to reform immigration detention instead of private prisons, and private prisons benefited. As of July this year, don't know if you know, there was an increase of 90%, which is 31,000 people held in private facilities. That is up 80% from the year of the last administration. The largest facilities right now are Core Civic in Georgia, Wynn Correctional Center in Louisiana, and then Richwood in Louisiana as well. In those facilities, numerous incidents involving death, sexual harassment, mistreatment, and suicide, and so on have occurred and have not stopped or have been addressed by the White House. You can bet that'll be part of the campaign coming up in 2024.
Here for our second article. Are you ready? Mr. Harry Newsom.
Yeah. Mine's Trump argues proposed limits on 2020 election case evidence violate free speech. To just basically sum it all up, they're trying to stop him from the ability to expose what they would consider sensitive information. And they want to put a full gag to where he can't speak at all. And his attorneys are fighting over the fact that a full gag isn't necessary to stop someone from still being able to have their free speech. And the reality is, if that's the case, then what does he know that they don't want out?
We're going to talk about that in just a moment. The last article that I really want to talk about yet this evening, the headline is the U.S. court blocks the Biden debt relief rule benefiting defrauded students. Now, here's the thing. This whole thing was in, I believe, New Orleans, in the Fifth Circuit Court in New Orleans. And it was prevented from going into action, but it was done so by two major things. One, this was the blocking, if you will, was done by for-profit colleges, a group of for-profit colleges. They did not want this going into action because it would actually widen how much groundwork that students could actually come at the school and say, hey, you defrauded me or you cheated me out or whatever. But the second one, all three judges that ruled against this were all Republican presidential-based judges. So let's take a look at this whole thing, guys. The more that I'm looking at this, it's coming around and it's saying we have political garbage that's going on. Would you guys say that's true?
I'd agree.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Harry, by the article that you're looking at, it sounds like they're just trying to block Trump from actually exposing more information. Would that be a correct kind of thing?
Yeah, from what I've read in there, and just let's be honest, everything we hear on a daily basis, it's not about whether or not you're a supporter of Trump or hate the guy or whatever it is. Trying to silence someone that has had the power to have certain informations clearly means that they have things they can't have put out in the public. What that may be remains to be seen, but
see, and that's another thing, is just we know this will all roll downhill. If it starts at the top and they can silence somebody of that magnitude, then Joe Schmo in some backwater country courtroom doesn't even stand a chance.
yeah.
Nick, I listened to what you were talking about, and I read that article. It sounds like the for-profit jailing industry is just becoming a behemoth unto its own. And they're more worried about keeping in business than they are about doing the right thing. Would that be true based on your article?
Yeah, Mike, it would be true. And these are ICE-run facilities or ICE supervised facilities, so to speak. But yes, they are for profit. And obviously, if they cut off that, I mean, obviously the funding would end for that particular facility. So I think they're getting a little bit of pushback at the White House, but there's also some lag in it, right? I mean, it was a campaign initiative back when the president ran that it was going to stop, and it has not stopped, nor has the ability to commit some crimes that there are allegations about within those, and they're making profit. Now, there are some active investigations over sexual harassment and stuff like that, but they haven't gone anywhere. They're dragging their feet on it, and I'm not quite sure what the purpose is, but people like Mayorkas and those guys are sitting back saying, wait a minute, they didn't think about the influx of immigrants. Now, not just from one place or another. These immigrants are from global, right? So let's not say that it's all from Mexico or coming over the Mexican border. These immigrants within these prisons are from all walks of life. Now you release them, now you've got crime on the streets, on top of all the drugs and stuff that we're talking about being on the streets. But there is profit loss, but there's also a huge influx in people that belong in these facilities. So now they're kind of like, whoa, backpedaling a little bit, like, wait a minute, if we don't put them in here, where are we going to put them? So there's a little bit of a double-edged sword type of thing there when they're talking about it. Now, was that thought through when it was a campaign initiative? Probably not, but it didn't matter. The majority of American people that did the voting believed in it, and they pushed it. It will be another hot button this campaign coming up. By the two that are still running that ran last time, this will be a hot.
I do.
And the fact that there was an increase in facilities and inmates.
See, and that, I hear politics running through all three of these articles. Because when I was digging deeper into the one that I was looking at, it started because Biden wanted $430 billion worth of student loan erased. But it's only 43 million people that it would affect. $430 billion for 43 million students.
I think there were 26 million that filed, and 16 million have already received the benefit.
See, in this, I know that's why this article came about.
You already have.
You know, this one came about because simply somebody goes, oh, I'm upset with Joe Biden and doing this, so I'm going to block it. And what they did was, for this article that I was looking at, they just blew people out of the water and said, okay, well, you can't go after the schools for being defrauded or cheated out of something, or we're not going to do that for you. But anyhow, folks, we just wanted to stop and just say, hey, here's 3 articles that you might want to take a look at. I'll throw the article links in the description below. If you like, come check out our show at Pile Driver Talk Radio. It's on YouTube. We have full-hour shows, and we'll have more articles as we go along. Until next time, everybody, thanks for joining. We'll catch up with you next time.